Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Signal. In today's video, this is me doing an eyebrow wax, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what I wish I would have done differently to make this eyebrow wax go so much better and so much smoother all around. So, as I always do, I always start off with trimming, so I'm, not mad at that. But this is my first time doing her brows. So anytime I do a brow for the first time, I usually always outline. For some reason, I did not outline her eyebrows first. And that just that sets the foundation, especially for brows you're not used to. So you want to try to, if you've never touched those brows before, you want to act like you've never touched those brows before. I don't give a fuck how professional, how much of a technician or specialist you think you are. The outline is important because you want to make sure that that's the way the client wants their brows to look at the end. It kind of sets the tone. It gives them an opportunity to have a say-so in how their brows are going to look, and it also gives you a more clear picture of, where you need to lay that wax, how you need to lay that wax. And then we're going to get right into number 2 of the thing that I wish I would have done differently is rip that off half and half, okay? Don't go ripping nobody's face off all at one time. That shit hurts. It hurts doing that. And I wish I would have never done that to her. Basically, just you can lay the whole strip as far as waxing, but when it's time to take that wax off, half and half that brow, okay? Don't be in a rush. Take your time. Slow down. That's another thing I wish I would have did was take more time on these brows and been more attentive, because I would have noticed that and I would have done that for the next strip. But instead, on the next strip, I ripped the whole thing off again. Unfortunately, and I know that shit hurts. So I'm sorry, girl. I learned a lot since doing your brows. As you can see, ripping a whole strip off like that clearly made her eyes water. Y'all gonna see her wiping her tears in a second if you didn't already see that part. Another thing I wish I would have done differently is counted or gave her some type of warning before I ripped that whole strip off. I don't know if you noticed, but she did kind of jump a few times because she didn't know it was coming. So if you can kind of warn them, it's just like when I do a Brazilian wax. I always tell you, take a deep breath in, and then when you're blowing it out is when I'm going to pull the strip because it helps with the pain. For some odd reason, I didn't do nothing I know. I didn't follow nothing I originally knew. I think because we were cool, so I was just really excited about doing her brows. So it was a lot of stuff that I missed as far as providing a great service. But we're going to go right into number 4. Number 3 was counted or gave some type of warning. Number 4 is save the tweezing, which is now you just seen me tweeze that one brow because I was done waxing that brow. But try to save all the tweezing for the end. You just never know what hairs could be used to make that brow match the next brow. So save the tweezing till you wax both brows. And that's number 4. Yeah, just basically wait to tweeze, okay? Don't be tweeze happy. And I definitely would never recommend using a razor to clean it up. I don't like that. Your pores are already open, your brows are already sensitive, and then you already ripping all the hair from out of the follicle. Why would you go clean up and then only take those cleanup hairs off the surface? Then when you grow back, you see all those little dots on the eyes and all type of wrong stuff when you do the razor thing. I don't like it. If you like it and you have a better way to use it, please don't hesitate to comment. If you're a fellow esthetician and you use a razor, comment and tell me why you like it, okay? Comment and tell me why you like using a razor for whatever the reason. Again, I'm going to say I am so sorry for ripping this strip off all at one time. I know that shit hurt. When I went home and did it, my own eyebrows, and I did that, it hurt, okay? I wanted to call and apologize for that shit because I know it hurts. But anyways, number 5. So, something I wish I would have done is fill in her tail. If you can see, after I waxed the bottom strip on her brow right here, you can see how her tail is much lighter than the rest of her brow. And there go that wipe to the tear because I done ripped her skin off. Didn't warn her, didn't nothing. But anyways, yeah, you can see how the tail is a little bit lighter than the rest of the brow. So just to kind of, give it that fullness and that finished look, I wish I would have filled in her brows when I was done. But I didn't. I didn't fill them like with a pencil and just to show the potential her brow could actually have, whether she wears makeup or she fills her eyebrows in. Just, showing her how to do it basically by doing it. I honestly don't feel like I left her with she was clean for sure. Her eyebrows was clean as shit. But I don't feel like I left her with a finished look just because the tail wasn't filled in and yeah, a lot of stuff. Number 6, I really wish I would have wore a mask simply because my face is so close to her face. Like, I'm damn near kissing the girl, okay? Like, if I needed to look a little bit more closer, we would have made skin-to-skin contact, okay? Look how clean that shit is. But anyways, we would have made skin-to-skin contact. So I wish I would have wore a face mask. This was around the time I was still smoking. So, not before I did anybody eyebrows, but, smoker's breath. I could have had smoker's breath. Would have never knew. Okay? Because I ain't had no mask on. I'm not really talking or opening my mouth. That's another reason I wish I had a mask on for this fucking video. Look at my face. Why do I look so serious? Anyways. And the final thing, number 7. As you can see, I'm doing the unibrow last. I wish I would have done that first. If you can see it, you can clearly see that I almost forgot to do the unibrow at all. Like, what? So if you just get that unibrow out the way first, you won't have no issues. You won't have no problem with forgetting. You can actually better see the shape of your brow and where each brow should start at if you start with the unibrow, okay? There's no way to mess up the unibrow unless you just forget to do it. I've put tea tree oil. That's tea tree oil that I'm doing right now. But I put tea tree oil on clients and had to wipe the tea tree oil off the unibrow because I almost forgot to do the unibrow, okay? Now, another thing that I didn't really write down, but I'm going to just add it to it's like a bonus tip, a number 8, a bonus tip or whatever. I wish I would have come up with like a checklist so that I can mark it all off and cover all of my bases as far as cleaning up the areas, shaping the areas, lining the brow first, doing the unibrow first, making sure the unibrow is done at all. Like, just having a checklist to make sure all my bases are checked off and I'm really leaving the girls with clean, nice brows. Look at that. Don't get me wrong, they clean, but it could have been better.